Keep empowering yourself.
Mate.
These are bullets all day long. They got the Knight of Pentacles, the Strength. He shot himself. There's the
Family attorney says the 23-year-old died from a gunshot wound to the head, and the manner of death was suicide.
I don't know what he used. I know it's a rope involved. I don't know what he used that rope for. Let me see. The secrets. He's taking the secrets with him. You see the secrets? He's not giving y'all the information. Says y'all don't need to know it. You know? He'll go out with the secrets with the high priest there. He might be found on a Wednesday too. Ace of Wands. So I have no doubt in my mind they're gonna find Brian Laundrie, October 2021. I'm telling you, he's still.
Hello, my loves. It's TTMG, the Tarot Medium Goddess here. Thank you so much for being here. Please do stop what you're doing and like this video. Go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to tell me what you think about what happened in this case in the comments below. And do show your girl some love and share the video. I appreciate every single one of you. It's true. I love you, boo. Welcome to another episode of the Tarot Medium Goddess Show. So today we are watching Chris Mcdonough. You are more than welcome to go watch his channel. You know, you're welcome to go obviously directly to his channel and watch it. But I figured since I was watching it, you know, I would play it for us all to see at the same time. I will be playing it under the Fair Use Act. Here we go. Let me get that on the screen. So copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for the purpose such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, blase. It's all right there on the screen. And this is Chris Mcdonough at the interview room. So I've been keeping up with this. Like I said, you guys can watch his channel right here at the interview room. And I'm just going to continue listening. I think he started about, nearly an hour ago. Yeah, just about an hour ago. So I do have to catch up on this case.
They have lawyers.
Need to raise this volume a bit.
I don't need a lawyer. And I'm not working for them. I'm on YouTube. Dawn did not anticipate that. And so now...
I'll have to pause this for a second to remind you guys. So we're an hour in. I just noticed that he was on. So after this, or if you, whether you watch it on his channel or here, if you want to go back and, you know, rewind on your free time and watch whatever you missed. I know I'm probably going to do that while I'm cleaning or something around the house.
As he started earlier on, he's got to maintain control of the narrative. And so as a result of that, now, while he's in the clink, watching on TV, hopefully they have the YouTube channel, he has no control over his victims. None. And this is about, that for him. He has to maintain the narrative. Well, we all see that narrative is now shifting like a tsunami coming into the shoreline. We're starting to see that grandma just happened to be in bed. Or happened to see, these minutia truths starting to leak out. And there's a terminology for it. It's called leakage. Right? Leakage. Pre-incident and post-incident is leakage, is what they call it.
Right. Yeah. I don't know, Donnie. I didn't have some dinner, and but like I said, she's probably just busy moving into her flow. No. But I try not to let it bother you too much, and I'll and see what's going on, because I have no clue, because you just keep saying that she was taken, or somebody took her, or she was kidnapped.
Because I know it for a fact.
Oh, really? Wow.
Okay.
How does he know it for a fact? I'm sorry, guys. It's open panel still. How does he know it for a fact? If somebody truly wants to find their missing child, right? You want to weigh all options. So then he knows more than he's saying he knows. All right, let's listen to the expert here, though, Chris Mcdonough.
This is one of those real bombshells. And when we listen, we're going to have to listen very carefully. He goes, when Mary says, you've been saying something like somebody took her, okay? He says, and we know, and then he stops, I know it for a fact.
For a fact.
So he uses the pronoun we, okay? Like he's got a mouse in his pocket. Okay? I'm going to go back and play it again. I want everybody to listen up to that part where he says what he says. Okay? This is one of those slips in his mind. Okay? Because he says, we know it. And then he corrects it quickly. Okay? Now we're talking about potentially in his head, because he's going to say it in a little bit too. He talks about trafficking. Remember, it was Don that brought up thousands of children are trafficked every year in this country. Now, I'm not saying that means anything yet, personally. These are just my opinion. Okay? But if I was working that case, in this case, as an investigator, I would put up on the board, right, a huge red flag target. Is this in play? Okay. So I'm going to go back here. We're going to play it again. But mind you, this is a recording that he thinks nobody is ever going to hear.
Right.
Okay. When he makes this slip. Hang on.
There's no other way that she could have just been going about anybody.
Wow, I didn't know that you could do that. I didn't know you could do that, because it's like almost like television. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know when Trish started all that, but it just grew from there.
Right. Right. Yeah. I don't know, Donnie. I didn't have some dinner,
Okay.
But said, she's probably just busy moving into her flow. No, but I'll try not to let it bother you too much, and I'll try to get and see what's going on, because I have no clue, because you just keep saying that she was taken, or somebody took her, or she was kidnapped.
Because I know it for a fact.
Oh, really? Wow.
There's no other
way that she could have.
There's no other explanation.
I keep thinking, though, that she might have walked out that back door and just walked into the woods somewhere. I don't know if you heard about that case or not. There was a little boy that went missing up here in the UNS, and this was like 10, 15 years ago. Donnie, he was only 2 years old, and they found him 20 miles away from where he disappeared. In the UNS, Donnie, and
you can kind of expect that from a 2-year-old, but a 5-year-old, especially a female that's smarter than a boy, the females are just more advanced than a boy.
Yeah,
so she's smart, very smart. Yeah. So she's, way.
Oh, wow. I usually hear him ridiculing. That's the nicest thing I've ever heard Don say about a woman, ever. He's always putting them down over and over and over again, even in codes or directly. So, wow, I can appreciate that. He finally said something positive about a woman, a female, a girl.
Smarter. Her vocabulary was excellent. Everything. She understood well.
Right.
I mean, she wouldn't even go out in the woods with her brothers. She might go to the edge and watch them a little bit, but she would never go down there with them.
Right.
So he's got her never going out of a certain geographic region, again, control point. Okay. And yet he's got her going into that basement that, even I spent 25 years on the street, and that creeped me out going down those stairwells. The first thing I was thinking is, where's my gun? Okay. But, he's got her just tramping down those stairs into the dungeon. And then simultaneously, he's got her never leaving the top of the property. Well, I wish somebody would make up their mind. Some other dude did everything. Some other dude.
Yeah, I just keep thinking of different possibilities. Everybody. I just keep thinking, God.
That's the human mind. We all do that.
Right.
But with what facts we do have, what we know, we know she was abducted. We know that.
Right. Oh wow.
And I kept telling them that she's not here. She's not here, man. Why ain't nobody listening to me? I kept telling them over and over and over, she's not here. She's been abducted, man, and they wouldn't listen to them.
Right.
And so they had people out there for a week straight searching, thousands of people, thousands and thousands, everywhere. Dogs, helicopters, paint-seeking airplanes looking for us. She's gone. She's not there. I tried telling that from the beginning, but nobody would listen to me.
That is always, hasn't it? Has that not always been just the matter of fact disturbing comment that he's ever made, right? That remember he said at first he beat the cops home from work, and he just knew that she was abducted. And we hear him again saying, okay, I told these guys she wasn't abducted. Yet we get this, card team, the child abduction response group from the FBI, select individuals who have amazing, crazy training. And they've come up and they spent weeks with him. And the way that works is they sit down independently and just grill them. And this is long before they ever call him, a person of interest. So these guys and gals are some of the best in the business. And they were like, to the sheriff, this isn't an abduction. And of course, that becomes pretty obvious when you look at the victim continuum, the risk continuum with member, environment, situation, circumstance, low, medium, high. All of these other factors will come into play because statistically and a variety of other things that I'm not going to talk about here, it just tells you, no, there's something else going on here. So stay at the house, stay on the property. Okay? Now, it doesn't mean that it couldn't have come to the property, okay, where, everybody talks about the situation at the water hole and if that was in play. Everything is in play. And this is where Sheriff Lawson is coming in and saying, look, everything is in play.
Everything.
And, I know a lot of folks don't necessarily agree the way law enforcement may handle this, but I disagree. I think they're doing an amazing job. I know there's a lot going on behind the scenes, a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
And, at some point, there will be something happening and we're all going to wake up.
That's right.
And realize,
it's in my
holy
reading.
cow.
Candace White goes to jail.
And so
I just want to second that because if you listen to my reading, Candace goes to jail. She's literally going to jail. So I will have that up in the future end shot in this video. All right, let me press play. I'm sorry, guys. Feel free to comment if you want.
DW
be on
over
an
here.
open panel.
Okay. He keeps this, this idea that he's just so good at trying to convince people. And the reason why I think this call is so important tonight is because remember.
Hey, Mallory, how are you doing? Are you over at the his channel too, watching live? I missed a whole hour, so I'm gonna have to rewind it. But I opened this up. If anybody want to do some commentary here or there, if not, we'll just eat it. Watch it and eat some chips or something, some popcorn. But this is very interesting. Sending you love, Mallory.
He's calling Mary to convince her to get Jeannie to basically walk back all of the allegations about him. Okay. But then simultaneously, we see a little bit about his behavior. And from a behavioral analysis aspect, he is projecting that, hey, I haven't done anything. And then he eviscerates 5 potential other victims in his head by calling them, in California, the penal code section is 647B. And I'll let you look that up, okay? Because I'm not going to say it on YouTube. Because that's what he's calling them. And we all heard it. A couple of you interviewed with us. We're so grateful that you're here tonight. And this was a call from August of 2020 with Mary and DW, where he tries to convince her to please step back and get hold of Jeannie and see if we can get hold of her to talk about, de-escalating this problem on his behalf. Okay. All right. So before I go on, I got a lot more. We've got a lot more people coming in. We have about 6,200 people here. So let's do a quick roll call. If you're new with this channel, please hit that subscribe button, that like and share this out. So let's just take a breather. This is heavy stuff. Kind of want to lighten it up for everybody. So tell me where you're at. Let's do another quick roll call. And by the way, great week this week. We had so much going on. We've got people opening up YouTube. It sounds like DW and CW don't like each other anymore, but we'll see. Film at 11 on that one. Good day, Corporal Deb from Australia. How are you? Beantown, South Carolina. Love the Palmetto State. California. Let's see here. Kentucky, Tennessee, Utah, Illinois.
I just shot my name out in his comments. My city and state, not my city and state, but my state, guys. Make sure you show him love and subscribe to his channel. He's almost got 100K here going, which is amazing. He is amazing. Nice to see you on, Mallory.
Wisconsin, love it. DMV, Oregon, West Tennessee, Nova Scotia. Thank you guys all so much for being here. St. Augustine, Florida.
Wait, I heard him say Nova Scotia. Is that you in the comments, Mallory? I have to check out his comments because I know you're from Nova Scotia as well.
Omaha, awesome. Lost Wages, aka Vegas. Great to have you here. Kenny Pop, Greece. What? Seriously? Wow, awesome. It's great to see you. Thank you. Michigan, Marie Paulson, yes. Bluegrass girl from Michigan. Buffalo, New York's in the house. Pittsburgh, go Penguins. Dallas, the Stars. I love hockey. Hey. Karen Milligan, is that your sister? Teresa, Alabama, great to see you here. Thank you all so much. We're so appreciative of all of you, and so for always keeping it classy with our mods, Miss Sophia, Molly Girl, Mimi J, Stephanie Herb, Sophie H, and Teresa Milligan. We love you girls, and we just Karen and I cannot ever thank you enough for always keeping our chat classy and keeping everybody safe. This is a safe place, upstate New York.
Safe,
okay, so let's pick back up. Liverpool, UK. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. We love our folks over in the pond. Okay, so let's pick this back up with our character here, and because we're getting into some really good stuff that he slips.
Yes,
and,
please do. I want to
hear.
hear.
Catch it. I know you will.
Say that one of the cops said that he seen a car racing by him or something when he was on his way.
Yeah, they tracked that car down when they took that out.
They did?
Yeah.
It was no nothing.
Yeah, it was nothing. But, she got out of there somehow in somebody's car. I guarantee
Yeah.
Okay, so what we know today, guys, about some of the scenarios, what do you guys think of that comment? She got out of there in somebody's car. We know that. How do you know she didn't walk down the street?
Say it, Chris.
Okay.
Exactly.
How do we know that?
Bingo.
How do we know she didn't go up to the top of the cul-de-sac and these little footprints that everybody was talking about? How do we know? How do we don't know that?
Right.
He guarantees it, right? As Katie Kitty says, deflection. Agree 100%. 100%.
Great minds think alike.
Huge red flags on this one. Huge red flags. Common sense question. When is the TBI going to make an arrest? It's got to be solid. Remember, they only get one opportunity.
One opportunity. Agreed.
So they're probably keeping them in here and in jail, giving them opportunity to work the forensic side of things in relationship to phone data, triangulation data, that kind of situation. But he does know. I agree with you, Lady May. As does CW.
She might have forgot.
Yeah. It's just he wasn't anticipating. I don't think he was anticipating you guys and the great community of true crime here. I don't think he was ready for that. I think he was just going to shoot from the hip. It's just my opinion. And that's what they did. They put it into motion, but they didn't realize that there's something in her eyes, like, Michael Vaughn, Little Monkey, that just strikes people's hearts almost instantly when you see them. And every other missing child, I'm not just going to, say that's, not, they're not important. They are important. They're very important. And we keep them at least in our prayers here on this channel. And I wish I had the bandwidth to do 500 of these kids a week for all of us. But here he is, he's convinced. I'm convinced. Then, of course, the sheriff came out and said, well, we don't have evidence of that. And now all of a sudden he went, okay. The wheels are falling off the bus. Okay. In fact, I would say at that moment, the transition or the transmission dropped out of the bottom of the bus, okay, and hit the street.
Maybe there's a chance she's still alive, Donnie.
Maybe. I go out every night, every evening when I get off work. I'll go drive around, top of Face Mountain or whatever, and ask people questions. And they act like they don't like it at all. I run into 3 guys last night that they was pretty freaking stupid, man. I was pretty pissed. Why don't you go down the road and ask all them other neighbors up there what? Like, well, because I kind of know that the one of you here, I mean, I figured it'd be okay to ask you, but they just, these hillbillies act so stupid, man. Let's just,
yeah.
Now, what did you guys think of that question from Mary? Maybe she's still alive, Donnie. Now, I know.
In the chat, do any of you guys know who Mary is? If so, say it in the chat. I think it's his sister. I think it's one of his sisters. But anyway, he had Mary set him up. So let's listen.
Brandy, I've talked to Brandy at length. She's like, I know he is, and I'm going to find him. Okay. Instead, he goes to work every day. Okay, I get the fact that people need to work. But the love of his world, i.e. his little summer, she gets, well, every day I get off of work, I drive around and I go up to where all the neighbors are and, talk to all the neighbors. Well, are these the same neighbors who you claimed and the sheriff did? I don't know what they're talking about. Okay? That this is a meth neighborhood, and there's a lot of meth going out the back door of some of those houses up there.
Oh my God.
With some medical issues, so we want to keep them
Oh
in our
God, I
prayers.
accidentally rewound. Sorry guys, that was awesome. Right there, he hit on a key point. Gosh, why did I mess up?
In somebody's car, we know, triangulation data, that kind of situation. So, but he does know. I agree with you, Lady May, as does CW. Yeah, it's just he wasn't anticipating. I don't think he was anticipating you guys and the great community of true crime here. I don't think he was ready for that. I think he was just, going to shoot from the hip. It's just my opinion. And that's what they did. They put it into motion, but they didn't realize that there's something in her eyes, like, Michael Vaughn, Little Monkey, that just strikes people's hearts almost instantly when you see them. And every other missing child, I'm not just going to, say that's, not, they're not important. They are important.
Right.
They're very important. And we keep them at least in our prayers here on this channel. And I wish I had the bandwidth to do 500 of these kids a week for all of us. But here he is, he's convinced. I'm convinced. Then, of course, the sheriff came out and said, well, we don't have evidence of that.
Right.
And all of a sudden he went, okay. The wheels are falling off the bus. Okay. In fact, I would say at that moment, the transition or the transmission dropped out of the bottom of the bus, okay, and hit the street.
Maybe there's a chance she's still alive, Donnie.
Maybe. I go out every night, every evening when I get off work. I'll go drive around, top of Face Mountain or whatever, and ask people questions. And they act like they don't like it at all. I learned the 3 guys last night that they was pretty freaking stupid, man. I was pretty pissed.
Right.
Like, why don't you go down the road and ask all them other neighbors up that way? Like, well, because I kind of know that the one of you here. I mean, I figured it'd be okay to ask you, you know, but these hillbillies act so stupid, man. Let's just, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Now, what did you guys think of that question from Mary? Maybe she's still alive, Donnie. Now, I know Brandy. I've talked to Brandy at length. She's like, I know he is, and I'm going to find him. Okay. Instead, he goes to work every day. Okay, I get the fact that people need to work. But the love of his world, i.e. his little summer, she gets, well, every day I get off of work, I drive around and I go up to where all the neighbors are and, you know, talk to all the neighbors. Well, are these the same neighbors who you claimed and the sheriff did? I don't know what they're talking about. Okay? That this is a meth neighborhood.
Right.
You know, and there's a lot of meth going out the back door of some of those houses up there. Okay. You know, amazing, isn't it? Isn't it amazing?
Well, aren't they druggies? So they're probably stupid anyway, right?
Well, yeah, but that's like, I mean, I don't know. What do? I mean, so you go and you ask your neighbor if you've seen your kid, and they take it as like, do you have my kid? Or something,
Right.
You know,
Right.
They take it as, they take offense to it.
You just sound like he's lying.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, you
Hayes
wouldn't
Mountain,
think
yes,
that
Jim.
they would. You know, you just.
Well, my boss's wife. So you look at the way Jeannie believes. Jeannie believes that we done something with her daughter
Right.
because of the bullshit that's on YouTube
Right.
and what Chris Mcdonough is saying and everything else. So my boss's wife is looking at it going, I knew it. I knew he was a sorry bastard and blah, blah, blah. And,
Oh, so your boss's wife is telling your boss
right.
she don't want you
She
working
never-
with him.
Right. She never liked me to begin with.
Okay, so a couple of things, right? Transfer, deflection. Okay. And what am I guilty of? I'm guilty of asking him, how old was she? Remember the call? Okay. And remember it's my fault, the lab. Exactly. And remember at the end of the call, he said, I'll do everything in my power, right? You guys can go listen to the other half of that. Okay. And which is cool. Quite frankly, is, get in line. The responsibility that we have here is to tell the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts. Okay. And I mean, he got me into, I took her off the property. He got Jeannie, who started all this. Remember, she approached me. Let's see, Don, she was how old again? Oh, that's right. You didn't answer that. Okay. Well, let's refresh ourselves what Jeannie said. She was 5. Okay. Yeah, I know a lot of instigators who are 5, including actually nobody. Okay. I've never seen a 5-year-old instigate anything. In fact, your 5-year-old, according to you, wouldn't even go to the edge of the property. Okay. So I call huge red flag 5150 on that one. Throw some 5150s up. Okay. Because he's constantly doing this. And, I hope when he comes out, this will be the first YouTube video that he watches. Everybody spread it around. Get it everywhere. Maybe somebody will show it to him on a phone in the jail. The jail. 5150 means not wrapped real tight. Danger to others or themselves. He's all of that.
There's a lot of women that don't like me for whatever reason. I don't know.
You think, Don? Listen how he says this. You can't make this up. This guy is such a narcissist.
But, I mean, I don't know. What do you do? I mean, so you go and you ask your neighbor if you've seen your kid, and they take it as like, you have my kid. Or something,
Right.
You know?
Right.
They take offense to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's just.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that they would, you just.
Well, my boss's wife, if you look at the way Jeannie believes what we done from our daughter.
Right.
Bullshit that's on YouTube.
Right.
And what Mcdonough saying and everything else. So my boss's wife is looking at it going, I did it. I knew he was a sorry bastard and blah, blah, blah. And,
Oh, so your boss's wife is telling your boss.
right.
She don't want you working.
Right. She never liked me to begin with. There's a lot of women that don't like me. For whatever reason, I didn't show her that love. Didn't know who the hell she was.
I was going to ask you, are there any old wells or anything on your property she could have fallen into?
No, we checked all that out.
You're sure there's no old wells or anything?
Yeah, we checked. Yeah, and like I said, she would never leave from the top of the house, so she wouldn't leave there.
He knows
Right.
everything.
She always stayed right around the house.
Yeah, that's why I was just wondering if there was any sinkholes or anything she could have fallen into,
And then you go back to the dog.
Sound like he doesn't want anywhere certain.
Right. So they didn't pick up her scent like
From what he's saying, he really doesn't want the area of his property searched at all.
across the road or down the road, just right.
They couldn't pick up her scent nowhere else except for a trail straight down to the road.
Wow.
And that was it.
Wow.
And from what I understand about them dogs, even if a person's carrying her out to the woods, she might drop a hair or a water droplet or a tear, and the dogs will find it. They're not a kid.
Oh, okay.
And I learned a little bit about, going through all this crap. I learned some things. And they've had.
Okay. That's how he just described the, quote, kidnapping of his daughter. I don't know about you, but don't you think that is like just off the hook strange and suspicious? To say what I've learned through all of this crap, and he puts it in the context of the dogs, but in his head, his daughter is the victim. And according to him, this entire investigation is a bunch of crap. That should, checkmate. Checkmate. He's describing his daughter potentially going down that hill through a dog scent, a canine scent. And then he follows it up with, it's just a bunch of crap. He knows exactly what he's saying, but he doesn't realize in the context that he's saying it, because he doesn't care. He already, in my opinion, he has already convinced so many of this narrative. But what he wasn't expecting is to be in jail for a DUI and Grandis changing the story.
Yep.
She didn't stick to it.
She didn't stick to it.
And now you have, in my opinion, Candace, who's, she's just not doing well. I think she wants to tell what really is going on here. And I said this about 3 months ago when Don made the comment, I've got 7 alibis. Well, I was talking and I said, I told my sweetheart, not that, why would you say that? Okay? I said, what he's doing is he's getting ahead on Candace. So let's hope somebody will at some point, go down this road and actually let some more information out.
Hi, Dixie. How are you today? So I'm here. I'm sorry for the people that this is interrupting, but I have it open for open panel. If anybody wants to get on audio or video and talk, chit chat, we can. Or I'm just playing it straight through, or you can go straight to Chris Mcdonough's channel and watch it. I missed about an hour of it, but I'm probably going to catch up while I'm cleaning later on. How's it going? Do you miss your grandkids yet, or are you great to have the space to yourself again?
Leaking it slowly. There's only a couple more minutes, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop right there for a minute because I want to take some more of your questions. I'm going to put the super chats and the stickers up for the considerate donations, and then I'm going to come back. So give me a couple of minutes before you start putting your questions up, and then I'm going to take some questions, okay? So let me turn this on. All right. Actually, let me use this one.
Yeah, now you have some time to yourself again.
Thank you, Vet Girl. We appreciate that. So let's, Jennifer, thank you so much for becoming a member. Try me, thank you so much. Great work making a difference. It wasn't for this case. I appreciate you.
I think I was about 2 or 3 minutes behind, so I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward it now while he speaks on the super chat. All right, let's see.
All right. Oops. Where did it go? Oh, let me click on this. Okay, why can't Ellie at least come out and tell us to have faith in them? Those few words would mean a lot. Would that cause a problem with the case? That is a great question, and it all depends. What they don't want to do is come out too soon. They want to hold this idea of when do we call them a suspect. Sheriff Lawson has diplomatically, gone around it. Okay. But I think we all know everybody, as he says, is still on the table. And that everybody starts with the family. It starts with grandma, it starts with dad, and it starts with mom. Okay. That's how it works. Okay. Summer has a family now that cares about her properly. It's all of us. As a survivor myself, I pray every single day for sweet Summer, her brothers. God bless them, you and your family. Thank you, LS. God bless you. And thank you for sharing that survival story. We're so grateful. We're grateful that you're here with us tonight. Corporal Depp, could they have separated D and C for better investigation? Could there be covert investigation? The answer is yes to both. Okay, but we don't know. I know some things up top, on top of the hill, is that always going down, and right from the get-go. What's that old Dr. Seuss book, The Bee Watcher Watchers? Okay. So the Bee Watcher Watchers were on it, and they were taking a lot of notes and a lot of photographs. So when we hear this idea that everything was cool, he said everyone is a suspect. Thank you, Chase. Yeah, everybody's considered. So they're not going to pull 100% out and say, okay, we've narrowed it down. Not yet. You want to hold that for a little bit because it just adds, if you come out too soon, then it deflates some of that pressure. And we want to keep that going. Okay. You think Summer's on the property or kidnapped? Why or why not? Well, one, I don't have all of the information to the investigation. That's a great question. My experience has showed me on the kidnapping scenario, there are just too many moving parts. My feeling, if she was taken off of that property, it was by somebody who had a familiarity, what we call a geographical profile familiarity. Okay? So this individual would have to be a high-risk offender who would take the risk
Who wouldn't even
themselves to go up on that property without being detected, and then grab this 5-year-old little girl and anticipate every one of her moves going down that road, and then anticipate not having any concealment on that vehicle that she was going to be driving away in. Yet today, even that day, they're still looking for a red truck. Okay. So the odds of that, statistically, they just don't line up. Hey, Tia, thank you so much for all you do. Thank you, Mama Shea. Hey, hi, I haven't seen you in a while. It's great to have you here. Thank you for all you do, and the whole team does. Yes, thank you. I mean, I can't do it without my sweetheart. She is the love of my life, and the other day we just celebrated our anniversary. So, she keeps me in line, and I love her for that.
They need to check the water again for Summer.
So much. We had a great date night together. I keep trying to become a member. It's not working. Okay, Steph. Sorry about that. We will. One of our mods will hopefully help you out with maybe a workaround to that. So put your DNA on the subscribe button. Thank you, Westwood. So this is Sandy. Thanks for saying this. Let's see. I feel she's alive, stashed away with someone not close by. Qualify that a little bit more. Stashed away by the parents, or the cops know where she's at? Because if she was and the cops knew about it, then they are actually breaking the law by keeping the Amber Alert active. Okay? So the day they turn off that Amber Alert, put your seatbelt on. There could be information coming. Teresa, thank you. This is Teresa, one of our great mods. And this is how our team works. We all operate together. Let's see here. Is there any other fishy persons of interest that have come out of the woodwork that you find suspicious, like Andrew, H-Dad, or perhaps TM? No. The first guy, no. The second guy, no. Okay. But thank you.
Oh, I'm just seeing your comments, Dixie. My head was turned.
A good move on the plug. I was kind to put it up. You're a decent man. Thank you so much.
I have to pause this. I want to see what you're saying. Daisy says, if anything, they walked her down the driveway and put her in the car, if that's the case. And Dixie says, so she would have known the person in that car. Right. But I think she was long gone before she got home with her. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Dixie. Did you see how much? Wow.
Jim, thank you for having decent vocabulary. Too many bad language. Yeah, I used to tell the trainees that worked with me and for me at some point. If you can't control this, how are you going to control this? How you can control your finger
Look
if
at
you
Summer.
can't control your mouth?
This was days before she
So
went
thank
missing.
you for noticing that. I try. Okay, guys and gals, what an amazing night. Much more to come this week. We got a lot of things happening around us, and this horrible war with these children being, mercilessly, their lives are taken for without reason. So, and the world's in turmoil right now, and life is too short to continually become, the old saying in journalism, right? My wife is, a 35-year, professional in journalism. She's an investigative reporter who years ago actually worked at the LA Times. So she's seen a couple of things. She doesn't pretend to be a journalist. Okay, she is a journalist with a degree, by the way. When people try to pretend, that's just exactly what they are. And we need to be continually taking care of each other.
I'm going to see the comments, and then he looks like he's about to end. I missed the hour of it, so I have to rewind. Dixie says, but think she was long gone before she got home. Yeah, Doug said, Doug, was it Doug? Yeah, Doug had said that Don had brought a microwave to the house that they were working at, and what else did he bring? I forgot something else, but he was making himself really comfortable. Why was she slumped over? I saw that picture after I did my reading on Summer. My intuitive reading, my psychic reading, showed her getting injured during an assault, during abuse, and like in an infection in that area. And then I saw that photo like a couple days later. So I don't. But like I said, I feel like part of that is. Oh, I forgot. I took it off the screen. Is Don had to cover his tracks, and that's why she got gone. Poor baby girl. Yes. I agree, Dixie. All right, let's see where he's at. I'm gonna fast forward it to the live. Let's see what he's saying now. Oh, is he done? Yeah, he's done. So we missed the first like 50 minutes or so, 45 minutes.
Cool show for you tonight. Joe,
rewind it a little bit.
Roll call.
I rewinded it, but I will stop it where I guess it came in the room probably, I don't know, 40 minutes in, or I might stop it before.
All right. Corbin, Kentucky's in the house. Awesome. Welcome.
Dixie said he was saying goodbye. I need to get my hit music. I was trying to find some, because I have Epidemic Sound, so I have a license for copyrighted music, and but I can't find anything in the background that I want to play. I like his funky beat he has going on here.
Louisiana.
All right, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get a beat.
Everybody from Beantown in Boston.
Right, looks like we didn't miss a lot because a lot of it is him just welcoming people, right? Let's move it on along right around there. Let's see.
Older brother was intervened. Their older brother. There's been ultimately came out, as we've now learned.
Hello, Cushy. How are you tonight?
So many other victims. And in tonight's call,
when he said Omaha,
I just want to prep you that
okay, Dixie.
There's going to be a part in here where he throws those other 5 victims.
He said Nova Scotia too, and I know Mallory is from Nova Scotia, so I wonder if Mallory had weighed in, if he was speaking on Mallory.
At the time this call was recorded, it just gives you, he threw him under the bus. And this was early on.
Did anyone catch it from the beginning?
And today, he's obviously in custody for, alcohol. But as we think about Summer through the course of this phone call, okay, it becomes pretty evident. It's complicated. Yes, we are helping Brandy. I'm not going anywhere. We just talked last night. It becomes pretty apparent that for the longest period of time, he has mastered.
Okay, nice. No, it wasn't you, Mallory. Okay, he said Nova Scotia, so I thought it was you.
And
I was
what I
looking for you in
feel,
the chat.
a part of what CW's challenges have been is now I think we're in a phase now, and I think we can all agree, though this is just my opinion. I sense we're in a phase.
I always heard Mary's name, but I forget
Candace
who she is.
Now
is Mary his sister?
Started to drift
or half sister?
Into the abyss.
Well, whoever she is, she was setting him up.
The story, the alcohol, potential drugs on board. One day, it's there. The next day, it's not. The separation of her children, the loss of her baby, Summer. But I think we all know that there is so much under the current here that it's just a matter of time before somebody steps up and says, okay, this is what happened.
One of them he abused.
Because I want you to listen very carefully to how he initially framed Summer's disappearance. And I want you to hear it for yourself.
Yes, his dad's wife.
He says, we know.
I always heard her name, but I didn't know exactly. I thought she was his sister, but it wasn't possible.
She was abducted. We know. Not singular. Not I know. She said he says we know. So as we go along through this call, I'm going to stop every once in a while and we're going to have a chat.
I can't wait for what Juicy has for us coming up.
Are you ready to get into this? All right. So let me go over here. And by the way, if my internet starts acting up, okay, then of course I'll come right back. Don't go anywhere. I'm traveling, as we go along here. So sometimes I get good internet, sometimes I don't. All right, so let's get started. This is a phone call back in August of 2021.
All right, I had to pause it because I want to read what Mallory says. She says she comes on YouTube now, and I barely see her. Oh, does she? On any channels about Summer now, just doing her own thing, cooking on YouTube. Oh, okay. All right. I wish if you find out the channel link, let me know. I want to see it. You could even share it in the chat because I would like to know. I know she was shady as was she? Yeah. Well, she was setting him up. Yep. And he probably deserved it. He definitely does.
Recorded by Mary, who is trying to get Dawn to basically spill the beans. And so she's acting, okay? She's acting in this call. And we had spoken before this particular call.
Thank you, Mallory.
So in this one, she had left him a message and he calls her back. So here we go.
No, not yet. I'm still trying to get a hold of her. They got him a new house and they've been like 8 months or a year or something. And I think they're really anxious to get in. I think they signed papers yesterday or something. So yeah, they're just trying to move in. So I think that's probably why I haven't heard from her yet. So, but yeah, I'm still trying to get a hold of her. So.
Okay, I appreciate it.
What do you?
So, obviously, the first setup in this phone call is Dawn is desperate to get hold of Jeannie. Okay, he's desperate, So he's doing what we all know is called triangulation. So he's using Mary, who he feels is the weakest one, the weakest sister, to message Jeannie and try to get her not to go any further than she has. Okay? So that's the setup here now. And so Mary and I had talked about, you just play the good guy and let's see where he goes without putting anything in his thoughts, his minds, or his emotions. This is raw DW, back in the beginning in August.
Been pretty bad since day one. We're doing everything we can to try to find her, but all this stuff just hindering the investigation.
My God.
Just nothing. I don't know what
Oh
to
my
do.
God.
Yeah. Have you?
Hold on, Mallory.
Have you talked to?
Mallory, I just checked and I'm already subscribed to her. I clicked on the link you sent me and it says that I'm subscribed to Mary Hartman's Dinner, Drinks, and somebody must have recommended. She only has 34 videos for my. Maybe I heard about her on one of the channels or something. That's crazy. I had no clue that I was subscribed to her. I don't know. And I don't think she posts a lot. All right. Thank you for giving me the 411 on that, Mallory. All right. Let's get back to this interview.
The cops or whoever is doing the investigation.
Yeah.
I want to say this to those who are just coming in now. Like I said, everybody was open. You know, this is Chris Mcdonough's channel, the interview room, and we were just watching, chit-chatting. And I caught him, I think it was the last hour of his show, or less than last hour. We played that till it ended, and now we're here. We're probably going to go up to probably 45 minutes in, 55 minutes in or so. But you're welcome to sit around and comment on how you feel.
I've talked to them many times.
And
Yeah.
they still don't have any leads or anything.
No.
Really?
No.
Wow. You would think that they would after a couple of months, you know?
You think, but, you know, someone snatches your kid and takes off down the road 100 mile an hour, goes away. I don't know.
So that's pretty specific about, you know, somebody snatches your kid, takes off down the road at 100 miles an hour. I mean, I think on the surface that, you know, I guess folks can believe that narrative, right? And a lot of folks have. And they circled him around him.
Nice.
And they're supporting it. Okay? Meaning they're supporting Summer by believing that statement. They might not necessarily be supporting Dawn as a whole,
everybody
but they're
please
believing
like
his
and click
narrative.
the bell button.
Okay.
Wow.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I think somebody targeted Candace as an easy target, maybe.
Okay, now that's pretty specific. Okay, I see you guys want the audio up. I'm sorry about that. Let me see if I can get the audio up here. Okay, I hope this helps. And I don't know if I want to be staring at this mug for a second, so let me pull this down and play this. That's not going to let me do that.
Oh, okay, bro. I am really good, though.
Right?
That's what she did.
Yeah.
So I don't understand.
You wouldn't think anything would happen to your kid. I mean, just going and putting her in the house and telling your kids, you know, keep an eye on her, and then, you know, and then she comes back in and she's gone. You know, you wouldn't think, you know.
She went down in the basement, takes her toys hunters at times. You know.
Hey.
No.
Hey guys, so to clarify, his stepsister here, she's one of the ones, Mary, she's one of the ones that's pressing charges for abuse as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So he's got her back in the basement again, everybody. He has her in the basement. I'm trying to figure out how to play this, and without looking at his mug.
Okay, wow.
But StreamYard doesn't allow me
I wrote
to
whoa, I meant to like
change
wow.
that, and I had to have a photo up there. So forgive me, just kind of close your eyes if you have to, or, just put a piece of tape over his face or a bag. I'm not sure which is the most convenient, but I apologize, but I'll make sure that one doesn't happen again.
Yeah,
That's me.
Something sex, something freaking, he turned it into something real nasty. My sex songs or some shit. He said, I can't remember how he put it now.
So what? Is that on YouTube? I haven't seen that yet. What a...
Chris Mcdonough?
Uh-huh.
What, Chris Mcdonough's latest one with Jimmy and Trish?
No, I think there's another one. I don't know.
Well, we've shared some pictures and people put posted our shit everywhere.
Now, isn't that interesting? How he transfers the horrendous dungeon into this place of refuge and rest. This is where my daughter, her place of peace, and
Right.
where she plays her toys. I just think when he
Thank you
said
so much,
that,
Mal.
it was crazy, and I never called it an S dungeon. I just said there was something on TV, and at the time I wasn't sure what it was, and then quite frankly, you guys told me it was that Girls Gone Wild or something. I think my friends told me that, and I was like, okay, that must have been it then. But he's turned that around now into this great place where Summer has gone down there 1,000 times to play with toys. Now, can you imagine that? All of us?
A little 5-year-old girl.
And by the way, everybody, thank you so much for your super chats and stuff. I've pinned them, and we'll go over them later. I'm so grateful. But I you know how I am. I get focused on this. And so can you imagine that every day this little girl wants to go and play with her toys? I mean, good grief, right, guys? I mean, when we got in there, it is such a depressing environment. And I cannot see this beautiful little vibrant child, just saying, I want to go down there to play with my toys.
Right.
When I got down there, it was, as you guys, you were there. You were with me. It is a dungeon.
It's a dungeon.
And to think,
I'm probably going to cut off in about 10 minutes.
Okay. Word games with this is just unbelievably disturbing. Because I can now say, in retrospect, I never called it an S dungeon originally. I called it a basement. And then, we got to a place where, it was clear that it was a dungeon. And then when I wanted to, do a little more research on it, he stuck to that story that she must have gone out that door. So he has to put her in that dungeon, right? He has to put her in that dungeon. In order for this to be a viable, this is where the suspect had opportunity.
Great point.
And he even talks about, when in this call here, we're going to go through it. He even talks about when the scent goes down to the road, he puts it over there on that dog trail. So if there's ever another scent conversation on YouTube with Dawn, we can rest assured that is probably not truthful. Okay, it's probably 100% not truthful, and the authorities, I will bet you, in the long run, we will know for whatever that fact base is of where a dog sent it, and bearing in mind always that she was all over that property, all over that property, chasing the babies, her brothers on the motorcycle.
And I know some of you guys, I'm sorry to interrupt us, but some of you guys have seen my Summer Wells reading, and I told you the energies that she's no longer with us. I just shuffled some cards again and asked where Summer Wells. At the bottom of the deck is the girl laying on her back, actually her side with 10 swords in her, like over 4 swords. She was ill before she died even, on the top of the deck. And then a death card. I wasn't asking whether she was passed on or not because I already picked that up, but I'm trying to be able to see exactly where she is. So with more readings, I could try to work on figuring that out. Anyway, let me continue to play.
Cycle, going down the road and then coming back up the road. So this is, pretty as a whole. Okay? That he's sticking her in there constantly. And now we add, the layer of, the last conversation or the last thing he remembers is skin to skin contact with her that morning. Okay.
Right. Right. It's hard to work all day and then go home and work on your damn house too. Right. I've been working on our house for years. I built that addition. I tore the trailer out that was there, bulldozed it down the hill, and built the addition. And then we had to clean the basement out because that was food storage. And then I had a bunch of batteries and stuff in there. My mom put in there for power. So we've been working on it forever, but so the basement ain't finished. I had to rip all the cheap rock off the ceiling so I could do the electrical, and we're just still. Yeah. I should have to know who these 5 women are that's supposed to come out and say that I molested.
Okay. Wow. He is discussing the last point of contact where his baby was, i.e., in his mind, allegedly. It's just my opinion. He shifted so quickly from the conversation about the basement, i.e., the dungeon, to who are the 5 women. I'm going to go back, okay, and play that one more time, and then I have some additional comments and opinions on that.
Well, tonight we had to clean the basement out because that was food storage, and then I had a bunch of batteries and stuff in there. My mom put in there for
Hey Terry, how are you? Love.
So we've been working on it forever, but so the basement ain't finished. I had to rip all the cheap rock off the ceiling so I could do the electrical, and we're just still. Yeah. I should have to know who these 5 women are that's supposed to come out and say that I molested them. So.
Okay, so in his brain, right, as Peter Hyatt and Steve Johnson would say, okay, his thought process is ahead of everything this guy's got going on here. And for those who are
good, Terry,
constantly have had the experiences of manipulation involving children and essaying them, they are master manipulators. And they're so concerned with hiding that in that
I want to read this real quick, guys. I'm only stopping it for a second. Dixie says he wants to know the 5 because there's many more. He wants to pin the 5. A great point. Great point. I didn't think of that. And that, I would say that's point on. That's point on. Wow, and that's sad and sickening. Oh my God. I'm glad everything's good, Terry. Mallory, ooh, I love all that love. I love all of that. Second time listening to this, and DW is very sick. Yep. Terry, and I'm not playing all the way through because we already watched, I think we watched the last hour, so probably going to play like, I don't know, 10 more minutes of this or so. But yeah, he is very sick. He's a very sick guy. I love
particular scenario. Okay. He went right off of the basement into 5 additional potential victims in his head. Now, I find that an interesting transition point in his conversation.
I love all those colors, Mallory.
Because there, he is focusing on the basement, but somehow his mind drifts into potentially his victims, and I'd submit to you potentially a fantasy thought process. Because remember, everything that these guys do is like just putting bricks on top of each other. You know, they don't wake up one day and say, okay, today I'm going to do A, B, C, and D. No. They may wake up in their teenage years, you know, through voyeurism, you know, peeping Tom, that kind of horrific behavior. And then that leads into maybe, you know, other things, exposure, you know, some other inappropriate materials. And so it's constantly, you know, building this idea. And so when they expel that energy in to the community and into their victims, they are also, the fantasies are what's driving it. So the fact that he's got, you know, a conversation going on about potentially the area, we would call that, you know, a geographic familiarity. So he's comfortable.
Yes, guys, please like this live.
About
make sure you subscribe and hit the bell button. Thank you.
And then transferring that basement into blaming me. Because you see, he can't say, well, this is a really bad place, because to him, there was potentially, and this is just my opinion, potentially really bad things that every one of us would go, this guy's, you know, wrong. How do we stop it? Right? For him, it's the opposite. This is where, you know, and all that fantasy starts to play out again. Okay? So I find it really interesting that, you know, he chose the dungeon for the last point of contact with the baby. Because I think you guys know, in one of the last shows we did on the basement, in the corner, you see that filthy mattress. And then, you know, I talked about containment. Were the boys being groomed, you know, through other behaviors, and their sister was maybe, okay, they had to keep her under watch at all times, 24/7. And this is why, yeah, Sherilyn, that's right. Booze doesn't help either. That's correct. You know, as Peter Hyatt says, the language of alcohol, the language of drugs, right? And if you guys have never seen him, go over to his channel. The guy's awesome. And by the way, he's a member of the Cold Case Foundation, where I'm at. Okay. I never told anybody, but he's been with us for over 2 years. And I should have him up here. I should have Peter over here. I'm going to give him a reach. I'm going to call him. Anyway, so this process of, you notice everything is circling back constantly to the basement, to the basement, to the basement. It is Candace, okay, in her narrative that puts him into the basement. But it's Don who keeps her there in his narratives. And so at somewhere in the script, it has to shift to somehow get her outside or get the suspect inside. Okay. And we now know that Dawn is driving some of the conversation in totality, where even in here, he talks just briefly about Summer, or not, or excuse me, about
crazy.
Candace. He's really not interested
Right.
in Candace. And we're starting to see that play out now. And this is why I held this particular
finish
call.
his point, and then I'll end this.
My thinking early on was, at some point, if they don't hook these people up, i.e. whoever's done this, okay, at some point, they're going to have a falling out. And we are at that point today. And this week was a perfect example of, the old saying, or the old song, wheels on the bus go round and round.
Yeah.
Well, the wheels on this bus keep hitting the curb, and it's driving across Central Park right now. And people are, going in every direction. Okay. So the wheels on this bus are in the middle of the park. Okay. And eventually they'll even end up in Boston in the Commons, with all of the swan rides. That's how crazy this thing's getting.
Well, tonight I guess he's doing another show with them on there, whoever they are.
Oh, he is?
This is where I came.
Yeah, I guess so.
Really?
From what I understand, yeah.
Huh.
I'd say they're just some damn paid prostitutes from somewhere. I don't know.
Okay, that's what he just called the 5 victims. Okay. That's what he just called the 5 other victims. Don, if you're watching, wow. Wow. I will never support that personally. I stand with all victims. And I don't make excuses for that, and I never will.
Okay, and that's probably where I came in on the live originally. Thank you guys so much for being here. Yeah, we just gotta see how this case is gonna play out. Very interesting. So if any of you guys want to, I'm sure most of you guys know, probably all of you guys, of Chris Mcdonough. And he has a channel on YouTube, The Interview Room. He has decades of researching such cases and crimes, and where people went missing and all types of things like that. So definitely you want to subscribe to his channel, because it takes about a good 5 hours after subscription to be able to comment. All right. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful night. Love you too, Dixie. Have a wonderful night. Love you, Mallory, Terry. All of you guys have a beautiful night. Let's see who else. So see you guys soon. See you guys tomorrow. Sleep well.